Hello, this is Angela with Parkas Permaculture, and you would not believe the number of times I have had to stop and restart this video because kids have been getting water in the kitchen and making sandwiches, and the dogs have been barking, and I forgot to stop the cuckoo clock again. But here we go, time for a real video. So this is my normal segment where it's called Housefly Friday, where I talk about my 20 plus years experience as a homemaker and how that melds into my passion for sustainable living and for permaculture. Today maybe leans a little bit more toward the permaculture-y side of things, especially the aspect of permaculture that has really captivated me for the last few years, social permaculture. So I hope you'll hang on with me. Yes, I often talk about gardening. I often talk about the aspects of permaculture that have to do with growing food and reducing our impact on the planet. But permaculture has three ethics: earth care, people care, and fair share. And social permaculture has to do with these second two here. And obviously, as 2/3 of the cohort of ethics of permaculture, it's a significant portion. And when we talk about people care, we're not only talking about how do we care for people in other parts of the world, how do we care for our family members, our neighbors, how do we care for future generations that haven't been born yet? How do we think about and frame our actions in a way that make sure that we are taking care of and providing justice and equity for other people? People care also refers to us as individuals, right? We have to take care of ourselves. We have value. We have to remember that people care extends to us as well as to other people. And that if we don't take care of ourselves the best that we can, then we don't have any reserves left to take care of other people. And I think that's a really important lesson, not only for folks interested in permaculture, but also for anybody that's a homemaker, right? Because we have a career of caregiving for other people, be it for the members of our household, maybe it's for children, maybe it's for elderly relatives, maybe it's for partners, and for caring for our community. We often do lots of volunteering in the community. We also have to take time for ourselves so that we can kind of fill our cup up in order to take care of other people. Specifically today, this may be kind of like a meme heavy video. I've been posting a lot on my Facebook page about, whatever I'm going through in the day, whatever my thoughts are that are related to permaculture. So if I have a meme that I come across or a tweet that I come across that feels really relevant, not only to permaculture as an overarching concept, but to how I, as a person, as an individual, am relating to permaculture and to what's going on in the world around me, boom, it goes up on Facebook. So lots of impromptu, spur of the moment things. But I've been looking back through the kinds of memes and tweets that I've been posting over the last couple of weeks. There seems to be kind of a pattern. And I think that pattern is not unique to me. Obviously, the tweets and memes that I am resharing are ones that other people are sharing first. And so it's sort of a theme in our collective consciousness right now that I think deserves some addressing. Folks keep posting, and I keep reposting, memes and tweets having to do with our rest time, our downtime, what it means for us to live a sustainable life, and what kinds of goals and values that we have. What are we prioritizing in life? Or what do we wish we could prioritize, but we feel that the system doesn't let us? I'm not seeing folks saying, I want a yacht, I want riches, I want lots of European vacations, I want to have a massive house, I want to have all of these material things. I'm seeing folks posting very simple, humble goals, which feel like they should be attainable, right? People saying, I just want to live simply and comfortably, but I feel that the system under which I exist, the way that our society and our socioeconomic systems are set up right now, that's not possible for me. I feel like the system is set up in a way that doesn't even allow me to live simply, peaceably, with a modicum of comfort, right? And I see people saying, I want to work on my calm. I want to work on my learning. I want to work on cultivating inner peace and mental health. But I feel that is a really big ask of myself in the system that I currently live in. I see people saying, I'm tired of being told I'm strong for surviving. I don't want to just survive. I want to live in a way that is meaningful, in a way that is not constant stress and anxiety, in a way that should be possible. There's this meme that I've shared it's an oldie but a goodie, about how medieval peasants had so many more rest days and feast days and celebrations and respite from their work built into the calendar than we do right now. And I saw folks saying, well, that's because they lived a much more seasonal life, right? They had to do their work in tune with the seasons. And that doesn't make the point less valid. The fact that we have divorced our working year from the seasons that we as people have evolved to function under, and the fact that the cycle of the year and the daylight hours and the weather and how all of that impacts our bodies and our mental health hasn't changed, but the grinding of the gears of our society very much has changed, I think is totally pertinent to that meme. So how does permaculture work into this kind of, existential lament that we're seeing on Facebook? How does it speak into the reality that so many of us have very simple, humble goals, right? I want to have a community of people and have us all live in a way that fosters connection, where we all have enough to eat, we all have time for art and leisure, and we all have time to connect with each other and do the things that we enjoy, right? How does permaculture relate to people saying, I just want enough time in my day to set my worries aside and take care of myself and recharge myself so that I am able to take care of others? How does permaculture have a solution or address at all the fact that we feel that things are not normal or not as they should be, and that we have this longing for more peace, more downtime, more time to pursue our hobbies and interests, more time to pursue relationships and connection, more time to pursue introspection, meditation, and working on our own inner selves? Permaculture is a design system that is meant to help people more intentionally, more intelligently, more conscientiously, more effectively and efficiently design ways of living. The goal of permaculture, which I would argue is antithetical to the goal of capitalism, is to have earth care, people care, fair share for everybody. And in doing so, we create an abundance of food, of resources, of care, of connection, of rest and leisure and downtime to do things besides work, right? So much of permaculture, even if we just look at the gardening aspects of it, so much of permaculture is about creating a higher level of efficiency. How can I have more of a yield from my system with less labor on my part and less extraction of the environment in which I live? How can we have more abundance? How can we be more efficient with the labor that we do have so there is less waste? In permaculture, we say produce no waste. And that means wasted energy and effort and wasted life hours as well. How can we produce less waste or no waste in our pursuit of sustainable living? How can we look at permaculture as a system through which we can design more resilient communities, better, more ecological forms of agriculture, restoration for wild spaces, and connection and community that is more resilient? But how can we do that in a way that increases our amount of rest, increases our amount of time to do the things that we find meaningful in life? Permaculture is not about being more efficient so that we can produce more, so that we can always be reaching for more and more and more. It does not believe in exponential growth. Again, antithetical to capitalism, right? It's not about continuing how much more and more and more and more and more can we seek. It's about balance. How much labor can we put out in a way that produces what we need and enough to share with others and gives us all of this space for rest, creativity, connection, sleep, meditation, producing art and music and poetry, and spending time thinking about who we are as people and our growth as individuals, right? Permaculture is meant to do all of that. It's not just about growing food in a way that wastes fewer physical resources and reduces environmental impact. So from the perspective of a homemaker who is passionate about permaculture, when I look at permaculture, I see not only a way to produce organically grown, minimally impactful, delicious, nutritiously rich food for my family, I also see permaculture as an overarching design system that we can employ all over the place and should be utilized, not to produce more profit not to make some corporation rich, not to enrich the lives of the super rich at the top who already have far more than their fair share, but to create a really humble and meaningful and achievable way of living for all of us that prioritizes producing what we need to survive, but also prioritizes the fact that what we really need is a higher quality of life as well. And what does that higher quality of life mean? It doesn't mean more and more and more accumulation of stuff and more accumulation of wealth. It means having an abundance of what we need in terms of resources, in terms of food, in terms of care, in terms of community connection, in terms of intelligent design and equipment that we need, but also in terms of looking at what we as people require in order to have a meaningful life, right? Our quality of life matters. What I said at the beginning of the video, your individual quality of life matters. Your individual interests really matter. Your self-care matters. So I hope that that was helpful. I actually have a meeting to get to for some community advocacy stuff, so I'm gonna have to cut it off there. I would love to hear your thoughts on this subject. Please don't forget to click like and subscribe, but please share your thoughts down below on how permaculture can be used, or how we as homemakers can be used, or how you and your interests align with permaculture in a way that creates and fosters more rest, more quality time, more community time, more time to focus on the things outside of labor that bring meaning and purpose to our lives. I'll be back real soon. Thanks.